Welcome back to another episode of Motogp Mac, and today we're going to talk about Piero Taramasso, the head of Michelin's, comments about teams not using the data collected from the sprint races to improve for the main race. Now, speaking recently, Taramasso said, "The data from Saturday is very useful. There are teams who know how to interpret it more quickly and are able to make the changes in a right way. This will allow their riders to gain in the main race. However, there are teams that are not able to interpret it, and they still don't know how to read the tire data at all. I just happened to speak to someone who told me they wouldn't touch anything in the setup of the bike because they already obtained a good result in the sprint race. In my opinion, this is a big mistake because you risk losing something later in the race. And if others take a step forward, they screw you and they stay ahead of you. I believe that this is the aspect that leads to seeing values change between the 2 days of racing. Now, everything is played out in a space of 2 or 3 tenths. So it's fundamental to try and improve. Those who know how to do it always hit the target." Now, I think this is really interesting because we've heard of riders saying, like, what did you change? Nothing. Now, I don't always necessarily believe them. I believe that they would have kept a kind of a similar base setup, but, they're not stupid in the way of, like, if they're doing a 12-lap race or a 25-lap race, they know exactly how to manage this. So I would definitely think there is a change in tire pressures and etc. like that. But I do think it's really interesting what he said, though, is that some teams just don't make any changes at all. More worrying that other teams don't know how to read the tires. So, of course, if they're going out and getting data of 12 race laps, they should, from their testing, they should, from their practice sessions, etc., kind of have an estimate of how that tire is going to wear at 25 laps. So I do think it's really interesting that he's saying that teams don't really know, or some teams don't know how to do it, and the ones that do. And this is, I suppose, what brings us back into what we said about Ducati and the 8 bikes, that, yeah, they do have an advantage understanding the tires. Now, obviously, that's going to change next season, but there is the black art of tires, and the more tires that you run, the more advantage that you do get, even though it is the difference between a GP24 and a GP23. It's still data that they have an understanding of. So I definitely think it's interesting. I would definitely love to know your thoughts. Tires are a black art, but what do you think of Taramasso's comments about teams not being able to understand the tires? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.